And we are live with session 68 of our Drown Gods campaign, and we will get started as always. Everyone, please reset your hero point pools to 1. Molly, on the other hand, though, as a special birthday gift, you may have 2 hero points today.
Ooh, thank you.
And let's start off with the Akalupu notes. Or are they called junior notes? What are we calling these now?
It's a good question. The junior notes sounds fine for now until we can figure out
the Ballad of
else.
Awesome Heroes.
Yeah. Except for Junior's not quite sure exactly where he falls on. He's not quite as loud and self-centered as his dad is, so.
But you did take the time to memorize all of his stories before he abandoned you.
Yeah, obviously. Because that's what you have to do. The burden of a storyteller.
Da, da, da.
Log entry 1 as storyteller. We christen the Pink Lady and prepare for our maiden voyage. Manawanui enjoys her role as captain, and Mako is navigator. We are protected on our voyage around the island by the powers of lemon scones. After much chaos, we lift off. We come upon a strange, hostile appearing object. We beat the object into smithereens, only to find out it is a log, floating in the ocean, helplessly.
Minding its own business.
We finish sailing around the island and come back to dock. We fill up our supplies, attach a harpoon to the front and a catapult on the port side, and a cannon on another side.
The cannon went rear, so it's aft.
Yeah. And a cannon aft. The end.
All right. So, who would like to give the recap for an extra hero point, or would you guys like me to do it since I know it has been a while?
I wouldn't mind if you did it.
All right.
Yeah, I have some notes, but I feel like nothing that Anna/Junior didn't cover.
Alrighty. So last time we kicked things off with the inaugural test voyage of the Pink Lady, which you named and christened in the last episode as well, to test out all of the systems, even though there was a great deal of confusion as people thought you were actually leaving. Not just doing a test voyage, but we got that cleared up eventually. And you took it out for a spin. Things were running pretty well. Burnbright did note a few different things that needed adjustments or fixes as you were going, because up until this point, the only testing you had done was essentially just like straight up, like, does it levitate? What kind of battery performance are we getting? What kind of power are we getting through the sails? All of that. And so you sailed along and things were going quite smoothly until Burnbright noticed a strange object, a suspicious looking object floating in the water ahead of you. And supposing that it might be an enemy craft, he set everyone to battle stations, and you quite thoroughly decimated the opposition, outrolling it at every opportunity, outmaneuvering it, destroying it with rocks and other attacks, and you did in fact arrive closer to it, only to realize that it was just a log that had fallen into the ocean. But it was a good chance to test out your combat capabilities, and Ip actually had noticed that it was a log quite a while before the rest of the group and just decided not to tell anyone and go full battle stations anyway. So he seemed to have the same idea, that it was a good opportunity. And so from there, you guys celebrated with lemon scones, which had been made by Burnbright's mother, Sunbeam, and finished sailing around the island and returned to dock from there, and set off to finish the last few adjustments on your ship, put in the last modifications, attach weapons, all of that kind of stuff. which you guys have filled out. So on the ship sheet, you can see that you have 6 slots of food, 1 slot that has your cannonballs and your gunpowder. You have 8 shots there, and then your final slot is full of rope. You attached weapons, so you have the harpoon gun, which is in the 4 quadrant, so you can shoot the forward quarter, so 90 degrees. And that one, if you are able to hit a target within 100 feet, you can actually attach to it with a rope if you want to. You have the catapult, which does significantly more damage, a little bit less range, and then the cannon, which does a lot of damage and has quite a bit of range. For modifications, you have a deployable green lady underneath. The green lady is your old outrigger canoe. So that is one of the other tabs if you want to see the stats for the green lady. Second modification, you added a 3rd weapon slot so that you could fit the cannon. Otherwise, you only had 2. Third modification, you made it so that the storage is sealed, meaning that it is less likely to spoil or to, roll overboard or other things like that. In the 4th modification, you added extra armor, and that extra armor is ablative armor, meaning that as you take it effectively gives you that extra damage reduction. But as you take damage, that extra armor over your normal 5 will be destroyed, and eventually your armor rating will drop down to your actual armor rating of 5. And then on the 5th slot, you set up seats and rings to secure yourself in place. So during a big storm or other events like that where you need to be worried about people blowing overboard, you have a means to secure yourselves and not need to worry about that. Other than that, we had Manawanui, who was checking on his blackened finger and noticed that it's getting significantly worse. The finger has lost the fingernail, and then over the next week and a half or so, while you guys were finishing up the ship, the finger has continued to degrade, and at this point, the actual flesh of the finger is mostly gone, and you can see the bone of the finger, which is about from, I think it's your pointer finger on your left hand? Is that correct? Or do you remember it?
I want to say it is.
All right, so pointer finger on the left hand, down to between the 1st and 2nd joint, so in the middle of there, down to there, is almost entirely bone now, basically. Manawanui did.
I can see some things that could help with. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's what you said last time. And interestingly, you still are able to use that finger. It's not like now past that point, that final joint on your finger is no longer movable. Somehow, despite the fact that there is no ligament or any other explanation for how it could be moving, you can still control your finger all the way to the end of the digit. So definitely some dark energies involved there.
Don't worry about it, guys.
No, not at all. You also have
really
started
glass
wearing.
Half full about this zombie finger. That's great.
You have also started wearing a long black glove on your left hand, so you're keeping that hidden. And you did go to Ip a little bit to see if he could do anything about it, but when it became apparent that whatever he was doing was not actually improving it, you cut off those sessions in order to maintain more secrecy over the progress, because last time he saw it, it was just all black and you had lost the fingernail. So he has not seen any of the skeletal, bony, still moving finger stuff.
No reason to alarm him.
Exactly.
It's all in good hands.
Yeah. And last time we left off, you said you wanted to try and get in touch with Topple to talk to him about the finger.
I thought he did already, though.
No. Well, sort of. You did talk about it to some extent when he visited and destroyed the cage that was protecting. You remember the darkness aura that was coming out of the chalice,
Yeah.
which you now know is a lich's phylactery. You did talk to him some about it then, but you said you wanted to talk to him more. So I just thought I'd remind you of that if you still want to seek out Topple. Not something you can do this session, but we were running short on time last time. Other than that, Mako made some potions. So as a quick reminder, Mako, you have two different types of potions. Mako has the imbued potions, which are the ones that you get at the beginning of every day for free. They don't require any materials, and they expire at the end of the day. You have to make a new batch every day, and no one other than you can use it because they are using your own magical energies. Then, if you are in your inventory, you have a different type of potions, which have more or less the same effects, but these potions are made using crafting ingredients, and they are using the magic from those ingredients instead of your own, so anyone could use them. Like, you could hand them to someone and they could throw the potion and it would work just as well.
Right.
And then Junior converted one of his javelins into a harpoon with a rope. Yeah, that more or less catches us up. So you guys are finally ready to set off on your grand voyage. You know that you have been tasked by the Great Mother, the Star Mother, the Great Coconut Tree, whatever particular name you use for her. But the Great Mother has instructed you to head off to find the Isle of Ice and Fire off to the east. And you have fully stocked your ship and are making the final preparations to leave. The vast majority of the village has actually made the trek all the way out here to the bay to see you off. Before we do that, though, Manawanui, did you still want to try and contact Topple before leaving?
Part of me kind of does, but then there's another part of me that kind of forgot what I was going to ask.
All right, then we will just skip that, and it's he's made it very clear he can get to you whenever he feels like it. So it's not like leaving the island is going to lose you the opportunity. So Agata, hobbles over to you, where I'm sure you're off in a corner trying to not interact with anyone that you don't absolutely have to.
Basically.
You've got like the biggest, most aggressive looking book that you can find that isn't your, necromancy book.
The one that like literally makes people sick.
Yeah. And you're just
myself.
Like, yeah, exactly. And you're short of that. It's the biggest, most aggressive book you can find, and you're holding it in front of you in the like medieval equivalent of wearing headphones so that nobody will talk to you.
Yes.
But Agata, hobbles up, with her cane and says, "Well, I suppose it's time for you to go. Just don't forget about our little island if you're able to learn anything really interesting from, that, well, you know what we found."
Oh, well, we pass if we're able. I will try and return.
Yes, and of course I will continue to do what little research I can in those crypts. Perhaps I'll find something useful for you as well. Maybe we can send a messenger bird or something if you're able to set up trade like you and your friends did for the other islands, Silicon Valley and Outset Isle.
but we'll see how these people take to sailing. I'm gonna give like a disapproving look over at, not disapproving, but kind of like a whatever kind of look embodies. I'm not sure if they're gonna like be as capable as me and the boys were back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could like put that into a look, that's the
Okay,
look I'm
boomer.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ip and Burnbright, you are surrounded and nearly dogpiled by your various mothers and older brothers. And
horse pile.
yeah, exactly, horse piled.
Because horses love to pile.
And Night Sky's like, bro, don't even worry about it. You guys are gonna be like so awesome out there. Like, I can't even wait to hear stories of how much butt you guys kick.
Oh, we're gonna be kicking some crazy amounts of butt.
Yeah.
Just gonna be butts flying at us from all directions, and we're just gonna kick them all.
Yeah. Like, and he does like a donkey kick because he's like this, papa, and like almost knocks someone out. Oh, sorry.
Whoa, careful with that thing. That's gonna be a weapon of mass destruction someday.
Yeah. Yeah, one of these, maybe if we build like our own boat, we might come find you guys. That would be like epic.
That would be unlikely, but I look forward to it.
Yeah, and Blackrock is like, yeah, like what they say about two ships passing in the night or whatever.
Well, maybe if you pray to the Star Mother really hard, she'll make it happen.
Yeah, totally. Maybe we'll get our own mission from the Star Mother. Hey, bro, we should start camping out by the tower. And then Sunbeam is over. She's already talked to Burnbright and kind of has admonished him to be careful and to listen to his older brother, because she's very well aware that Ip is the one with all the sense in the family. And she then makes her way over and she finds Mako. Mako, what have you been up to?
Like preparing for the journey, you mean?
Just like, where are you right now? Because everyone's seeing you off. There's a pretty big crowd. The preparations are more or less done, so you don't have anything you need to be doing particularly at the moment.
Right, so I'm like standing super near the boat. I'm like, let's get this over with, trying to avoid everybody.
Yeah.
Just generally being a grumpy teenager.
Absolutely.
Kind of watching everybody else say goodbye in a nice way and being secretly jealous.
Yeah. So Sunbeam makes her way over toward you, and you can see she has some large kind of rectangular object on her back, which when she gets closer, she uses her magic and lifts it off and places it on the ground with a bit of a thud. It's not a loud thud, but anyway, it's fairly heavy. And she said, and it's covered in a blanket, so you can't see what's underneath. And she goes, yeah, hi, Mako. I made something for you as a farewell gift.
Oh, Master Sunbeam, like, you didn't need to give me anything, but of course I'll accept any help or advice or mysterious package that you think I need.
Yeah, I think this will help you when you're out there. Go ahead and look at it. Do you take the blanket off?
Yeah, so I unwrap it
All right. So underneath, you can see what is basically a desk with a variety of different instruments on it. If you go into your equipment, kind of down under elsewhere, you should see an alchemist's lab expanded. So this is, rather than your alchemist toolkit, which is kind of like some basic equipment that you're able to carry around with you, this is an actual full alchemist lab. And when you craft using this lab, it's going to give you a +1 bonus to your rolls on crafting equipment on it. And one thing that you notice is particularly notable about it is most of your equipment is, ceramics. So you've got, clay pots and stuff that you do most of your work in. Even your vials are not like glass vials; they're like little clay pots with like some sticky moss or whatever on top to seal them. But the vials and beakers and stuff in this are made out of a new material that Sunbeam has been experimenting with, made out of sand that is melted in a furnace. And this material is it's not like crystal clear. It's not like glass that we would see today, but it is mostly clear, and it gives you the advantage of being able to see what's going on inside of it more easily. So it should be a pretty big advantage when it comes to your experimentation.
Wow. I'm like speechless. This is an incredible gift, but I do say thank you, Sunbeam. I will take such good care of this item, this lab that you've given me.
Yes. Yeah, I just hope that it helps you out there, and if you could keep an eye on, my boys. They well, mostly Burn Bright is a bit hot-headed, but try to keep them out of trouble if you can.
I give you my word.
And she's gonna clearly stifling a tear, trying not to cry. She's gonna wrap one horse hoof around you in like a hug, and then kind of quickly dart off into the crowd, trying to hide the fact that she's tearing up at the moment.
Yeah, same. We're both like anyway.
Agalupu, what are you up to?
Probably eating.
All right, you have like 4 girls around you who are begging you not to abandon them. They're like, "We can't live without you, Agalupu. What are we gonna do, Junior? Take us with you."
Junior being a little bit more of a social outcast because, his evil stepmother has somewhat locked him in a tower.
Despite that, though, just your few weeks in the village, you've already gotten 4 groupies.
Is mostly kind of eating and not entirely sure how to respond. And is trying to comfort him by saying he'll probably, but mostly can hide in the food.
Yeah.
Just gonna make them want you more.
Yeah, it's all those muscles, man. You can't have an 8-pack and not expect to have some thirsty groupies. All right. So yeah. Last farewells are kind of said, and you guys are ready to board the ship and take off if you'd like.
I'm ready.
Mono Anui is definitely ready.
Just do this thing.
All right. So with a cheer and a wave from the crowd, you all get aboard the ship. You weigh the anchor, power up the crystals, and begin to slide away. Oh, actually, one more thing before I forget. Last time there were questions about using your energy in combat to be able to, fly higher or things like that. So if you open up the airship rules in the journal, down at the very bottom, I have set up rules for using that in combat. So you guys can read that if you want, but we'll go over it in combat if we do. Anyway, yeah, so you guys sail away into the vast ocean. So let's put you on the map. All right, so here you are. Technically, even though your boat is one square to the right or east of the island, you are actually on the same square. So I guess I'll just put you on the same square. That's fine for now. Now we are going to go into sailing mode. So when you are sailing, every day we are going to get a navigation check well, actually first we get a weather check. So we will start there. So who would like to roll for the current weather?
Ooh, me. Pick me.
All right.
Pick me.
So I need you to roll a 1d100.
I got 89.
All right. So it is currently foggy. And then we are going to need a wind roll for your initial starting wind, so another 1d100.
77. Ooh, good number.
All right. 77 is going to mean the weather is currently, or the wind is currently somewhat unfavorable.
Oh, bad number.
So that is going to reduce your speed a little bit. Show. Now that we've figured that out, next we get a navigation check. So that is going to be from you, Mako. You are going to roll your sailing lore, I think is the name of that skill.
Yeah, let me go to there. Alrighty, let's see what she does. Awesome. It's a 16.
Not bad.
Well, considering I have plus 13, it's pretty good.
Fair. Very fair. All right. So what are your plans? I assume you're more or less planning to sail due east for the moment?
That's what I was thinking. Does anybody have any input? Captain, any thoughts?
Well, the east is where we're supposed to go, right? That's where that's what the Star Mother said.
The Isle of Ice and Fire is to your east somewhere.
I say let's not waste time going north and south. Let's put all of our effort into going due east.
Yeah. Aye, Captain.
All
About
right.
to get blown a bit off course anyway.
Yes. So, given your current speed and the somewhat unfavorable winds, if you are traveling just during the daytime, you can move a half of a square to the east. If you want to also travel all night, you can try to move an entire square to the east. But keep in mind that is going to drain your batteries because it's foggy, so that's reducing how much power you're generating. Normally, in clear skies, you would generate enough power to be able to recharge the batteries during the day and keep yourself floating, and then be able to travel overnight, and then kind of repeat that every day as long as it stays clear. But because of the fog, you are going to only make enough power to keep yourself floating during the day, and then if you travel at night, that is going to drain your batteries completely come morning.
Okay, to me, I feel like it makes sense then to kind of conserve our energy this early in the game. Especially because we might get better weather in the future.
All right.
I agree. And it's not like we're running out of food or water.
Okay, so I'm going to drag our ship half of a square east.
Yeah. Which to make it not snap to the grid, you're gonna hold Alt before you release the click, and that'll let you place it like a partial square.
I have a little grabby hand.
Is it not controllable by everyone? Controlled by all players. It says everyone can do it. Make sure you have the select tool and not the pan tool.
Oh. My bad, I didn't know how this machine works.
Yeah, and they just recently kind of changed things, so a little different. All right, cool.
Okay, cool. And just for my edification, I'm trying to go due east, and I'm keeping track on the map of where I think we are, but this could be slightly different from reality. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
You, to the best of your knowledge, that is your current location. But then, yes, I am keeping track separately of your actual location.
At least
Got
until
it.
we discover sextants and real navigation, I guess.
Yeah, until you discover GPS, and you're just like, all right, technology, tell me where I am. Just put it on the map. Show my little
Yeah,
dot.
map making and sextants and satellite GPS.
Yeah.
normal
Meanwhile,
stuff.
like, Sunbeam is still inventing glass right now. So, you got a ways to go. All right. So, with that out of the way, Mako is, I assume you spent most of your day, steering the ship, keeping things on course, keeping track of where you are. Is anyone else going to do anything with their downtime during the travel?
Do we have any books on board for studying?
Cursed evil books that Manawanui has stolen from a demon's library.
I'm gonna go ask Manawanui if they've seen anything in their books that may help us learn about the Isle of Ice and Fire.
All right, I'm sure Manawanui is around somewhere on the ship, fairly easy to find. I mean, the ship is not very big.
Mono
So no one is hiding.
Is going to be up
In the captain's
in the
quarters with the door
captain's
locked.
quarters, brooding, brooding over one of her clothes.
Knock knock.
Monroe's gonna close the book, kind of put some. We don't have just we have pieces of paper. We got papyri.
Yeah,
We'll
you have
papyri.
not learned how to make books yet, so you've not learned bookbinding, but you do know how to make not papyrus but parchment, so it's made from leather, and you do know how to make scrolls.
All right, I'm gonna put some parchment, some scrolls on the book I'm reading, and then go to the door, kind of open it up and tracking like, yes.
Hey, Manawanui. I saw you had some books in your possession. I was wondering if you had anything that might, teach us what to expect when we get to the Isle of Ice and Fire. I feel like it might be of some religious or cultural significance, considering the Star Mother is pointing us there.
not a bad idea. As a quick question, would that be just something I know or I don't, or could I make like a lore roll?
I don't think there's any way you would know it, so no, rolling for it wouldn't be a thing.
Can't search any of the non-extremely cursed books that I've gotten from Top.
So you have from Topple, you stole one book or two?
Yeah, I've stolen 2 books and then I got given the cursed book.
Okay. Most of the information in those books is not even about like it's not about like like anything that makes sense to you given where you are and what you're doing. So they wouldn't have information about like geography or history or anything like that. Like they might have some information of that kind, but it doesn't seem to be about the world that you live in.
Ah.
So like if it's mentioning cities, it's like cities you've never heard of, islands that you've never heard of. These like one of the books even mentioned a thing called a continent, which from what you've been able to gather is a section of land like an island, but so much bigger that you could spend your entire life walking across it and not get to the other side to see the ocean again.
The big island.
Well, probably not your entire life.
Um,
That's an exaggeration, but years walking across it and not get to the ocean on the other side. Which is not a concept that you know about outside of these books.
Well, let's just say I hope it's none. Oh no, we saw like a vague map of the island, right?
Yes, you have seen a vague map of the island. So you know a little bit about the shape. You made a crude drawing of it from memory as best you could. And you did see that one half of it had like fires burning on it and what looked like lava and stuff like that. And the other half looked like a frozen wasteland completely covered in ice. And it's divided straight down the middle in a completely and obviously unnatural way.
Well, and I know more importantly, I know it's not a continent.
Yes, it is an island.
Whatever that is.
Of ice and fire.
I'm like, unfortunately, I don't think so. I'm sorry. Don't
Dang.
have books like that.
Well, you got anything I could read for fun?
Did you make a picture book for Akalupu? Or a picture scroll, I should say.
You know, let me check. I'm gonna look through some of my stuff. See, I don't know if I would have brought the picture book. You know what? I am. I'm a somewhat sentimental person. I brought the scroll that has different sort of pictures on it. It's got, the first panel it's a tree and kind of keep going and it turns into like some deer and dinosaurs.
Is it snow pink and the 7 cocoa biters?
It is.
It'd actually be
Gotta-
cooler if it was like a picture version of like the stories that like Akalupu told Junior.
Oh, that would be cool. Because what age was Junior when Akalupu left?
I think 7 to 8-ish.
Okay. So I actually really like that idea. Not Akalupu. Manoa wrote down or drew some of the stylized, obviously, with the 2 authors' hands on the source material.
Yeah, and you have made your own language. Does it double as like a primer, basically teaching like the alphabet and like starting to learn how to read? Because by the way, Ip, you don't know how to read at all.
I don't?
No,
Oh no.
no one has taught you how to read. Reading is not like writing in terms of like anything short of drawing pictures and saying this is a squid. See, because it looks like a squid. Um, is not a thing in your culture, and Manawanui has not taught anyone his or her language yet.
Well, you know what? Maybe no one was interested. Okay, just didn't have any good students. No, I like that. So it's like a rough outline of our journeys with like some basic phonology of
Yeah.
the language that I've invented.
You've like shortened everyone's name, so instead of like Akalupu, it's like See Akalupu. Akalu or not Akalupu. See Ak sit. Sit Ak sit.
LOL. I love it.
It's like the
Yes.
Bob's books basically.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So yeah, if you're interested, you can start teaching Ip how to read, or Ip, if you're interested, you can ask Manawanui to teach you how to read. Even though looking at the text, it does make you feel a bit uncomfortable because the letters are all based off of. Yeah, but the text itself, your language is based off of a demon language, so all of the letters are like demon symbols.
Loosely based.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's no Gandalf reading, speaking the black tongue kind of thing. It's not that bad. It just makes you slightly uneasy because the text looks aggressive and somewhat evil.
Don't worry about it, guys.
I'm sure that's fine.
It's got some, hey, look, it's got some pretty killer. What's where I'm looking for? Pretty killer illustrations, if I do say so myself, and I do.
Let's get a crafting check to see how good you are at drawing.
Alrighty. Luckily, I put a lot into crafting, so if I get a bad roll on this, I'm gonna be sad. 18. How good is 18?
They're pretty good.
Like a fifth grader.
Would it be worth? Would it be
Like a
worth?
talented fifth grader.
Would it be worth using a hero point to re-roll? I guess is what I'm asking.
That is entirely up to you.
It's a kid's book. It doesn't have to be good.
Got to be the best.
Yeah, it's better than Happiness and Cyanide, but it's not as good as Garfield.
Okay, I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna use my hero point. I hope we don't need it. And this time we're gonna use the real dice. Should be worse. All right. See, I knew I'd get a better outcome. 30 because I got a 17.
All right. It is. What kind of style are you going for? Is this like a like those journals people used to take when they would like I don't know go to the jungle to shoot tigers or whatever? Like it's very clearly like sketchy with a lot of lines to it, but there's like nice shading and shape and everything. Or are you going for something a little bit more painterly, something stylized? Like, is it very tribal?
Something more like stylistic, like hold on, let me send you a picture, like insular Celtic art.
Like kind of like the Book of the Kells.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
All right, cool. Yes, then it is that level of quality. Even though stylistically, it's probably more like more Islander, Polynesian kind of style.
Yeah. Let me. That's the style I'm going for. All right. So I'm gonna retrieve that and say, well, I've got this that I made for Akalupu, or I'm sorry, I made for Junior. But he hasn't quite shown the interest in.
Yeah, Junior only looked at the pictures.
Yeah. So it's got some nice pictures, you know. It's got some, but if you're interested, it's got some basic phonology, is what I call it, and syntax.
This is great. This will be great for keeping me occupied on the long journey.
If you need
Maybe
help,
I'll show it to. What?
I was gonna say, if you need help like reading or interpreting it, just let me know.
Oh, I
You know where to
shouldn't
find
need
it.
your help. I'm smart enough to figure this out. I got it. And he said with very little confidence, but wanting to look good.
Nice.
Well, that should keep you occupied for a while.
Alrighty.
And then,
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna get back to I'm just gonna close the door quite silently.
I'm just gonna get back to bye.
Exactly.
That was
Alright.
strange. Strange way to say goodbye.
It's a little suspicious that the captain is the only one with like a door into their living space also.
Don't worry, guys.
The rest of you are just on hammocks in like a shared area.
Don't worry about it. It's all on the up and up.
The bathroom
You
is
just
also
gotta- you
literally just like a hole.
Although based
You
on this
just-
AI art, we each have like our own floor.
It's definitely not that big.
I know.
It's not even close. Like the bottom thingy is like a canoe. So if you look at like the bit sticking out the bottom, that's the green lady down there.
Hey, did you guys ever notice that Manawa Nui's taken up a lot of the space for themselves? We should mutiny.
Wow. Hey,
That's just what captains do.
come. You know, you have a lot of risk. You know, you get the nice stuff, but you also have to risk it all when it comes down to it.
You're not there to respond. You're locked in your room.
That's just yeah, it's just the spirit of Monoanui.
Mm-hmm.
She's always watching.
Yeah, Burnbright is up in the crow's nest taking lookout duty. And then Akalubu. What are you up to? What's Junior doing?
Junior is using the ropes and kind of trying to figure out some stuff with knots, like getting better at making nets. Maybe even kind of trying some basic weaving and braiding.
Okay. You definitely do that. Y'all have discovered weaving and braiding and stuff, so you can. That would not be like new stuff. That would just be you practicing things you knew or could
Yeah.
have learned.
What is like the next step beyond that?
What
I don't know.
kind of stuff are you interested in trying to work on? New technologies are of interest to you. I know last time you guys spent quite a while trying to convince me that you guys should totally be able to make a spyglass. No.
And I stand by that.
You guys are still learning how to make glass, let alone understanding the fact that you can make a lens to bend the shape of light in order to see further.
No, your answer makes sense, but I stand by us fighting for it.
Can Akalupu very boredly end up poking holes in some of Manoanui's paper and accidentally making a pinhole, like, projector?
Not entirely sure how that would work or happen. You definitely start poking holes in Mono Inui's paper, though. You'd steal some of her parchment.
Well, just like one piece, because like to do a pinhole projector, it's super easy because you just need like a bright light on one side and then like a small hole, like a pinhole in a piece of paper. And then if you hold it up, it like projects on the wall. It's actually easy to do on accident.
Okay.
Let her roll. Let her roll.
I'm trying to think what role that would be, I guess. I mean, you're doing it by accident. There's really no luck stat. We could just roll a d20. See what you get.
I have no idea where Akalupu's going with the pinhole, even if he does make it, but seems like it'll lead to something.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's see what you get. All right, 19. We will say over the next 3 days, you do somehow stumble on that.
Nice.
Super nice. 19.
Alrighty. Then you guys will have gone for a day, so we're gonna take one of your slots of food, and it is now half used up, so it's just foo or foe, I guess. And finally, we need one more D100 roll from someone for the random encounter table.
I'll do it. Or unless, actually, I don't.
If you were to roll it with physical dice, you roll 2d10s. One is the tens space, one is the digit. The ones space.
Alright. 64.
64. Let me see. So as you are sailing along, not too far away from the island still, it's only been about a half day's journey at this point. You guys spot something. You see, there's like a pillar of stone jutting out of the ocean, and a few of them, and then you can see atop one of them there's some sort of a figure who is trying to wave you down. So Burnbright would have called that out because he hasn't been the first one to see it, so he's gonna call down. Guys, there's like a person or like something out a little bit off to the starboard on one of those rocks over there.
Person? Maybe they need our help.
Yeah, but what are they doing out here in the middle of the ocean? Suspicious.
Mischief.
The Star Mother would want us to help any lost soul.
I'm gonna hear a commotion and come up on deck. What's all this commotion about?
There's a guy out there.
They need our help.
Hi. am going to roll a perception check to see what I see about him.
All right.
14. Golly, that was lame. I've got a perception of plus 10, so.
Yeah. You can't even see them at this point. You'd have to climb up in the crow's nest to get an actual view of them.
All right. I'm going to climb up into the crow's nest.
All right. So you can see what looks like the faint outline of a figure waving both of their arms above their head and looking in your direction. They are perched atop a rock in the middle of the ocean.
I agree. I think we should pick them up.
All right, yeah, let's head over there. How do we do that?
All right, so you're gonna turn a bit to starboard and head toward the rocks.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So as you are approaching closer, you can obviously make out the figure much more easily. It appears to be a female human, as far as you can tell from this distance, and you can now hear also that they are shouting. It's still distant, so it's hard to hear them, but you can hear them yelling for help. Hey, over here, help!
Helmsman, take us over there. How choppy are the seas?
Seas are pretty still. It's a bit foggy, so it's kind of hard to see very far, with much detail, but the seas themselves are fairly still. Not that it matters, because you are floating currently, I presume.
That's true. That is true.
Oh, right. I was like, what if we hit one of these pillars that's like in
That's
the
what I was
ocean?
thinking.
But I forgot that it's an airship. Duh.
All right, so Helmsman, take us about 20 feet or 15 feet above and about 5 feet out from that pillar.
All right, so the pillar itself is about 10 feet above the ground. So if you want to be 15 feet above that, you are going to need to expend one of your battery points,
But I don't
which
want
you
to
have
use that.
12 of in total.
What if we were just 10 feet? Hold on, let me look at the chart. So if we're 20 feet in the air, is that the next slot?
So so the way that it works is it takes one charge to stay 5 feet above the ground for 1 hour, and then for each additional 5 feet off the ground, it doubles. So at 10 feet, it would be 2. At 15 feet, it would be 4. At 20 feet, it would be 8, and so on.
Okay, so let's just go 10 feet up, and then 5 feet. Well, we'll do more than 5 feet. We'll do about 10 feet away.
Right, we don't need to be above her as long as we're far enough away that like she can't jump on, right? Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking. That's my thought process.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
All right. So you do that. It is still going to cost you an energy point to be above the ground like that for a while. But you do have 12, so it's not that big a deal. So I'm going to reduce your current charges on battery 1 down to 5. And so you pull up close, and you are now within easy speaking distance of her. You can see that she is female. As far as you can tell, she still seems to be human. She has green waist-length hair, which obviously that's weird, but other than that...
I mean, I've seen talking unicorns.
Yeah,
so.
and you've seen like
I've seen weirder
unicorns with pink hair, stuff like that. But yes, she has green waist length hair. She is fairly slender, but she appears to be either late teens, early 20s, fairly shapely figure. And she is wearing a loincloth and a basically a bikini top with shells. And she seems
right.
to be unarmed as far as you can tell. She's not carrying anything that looks like a weapon with her. The rock itself is has like some fish bones on it, but other than that, there really isn't much going on, and there's no boat or any other sign of how she would have gotten out this far other than swimming. But as you get closer, she goes, "Oh, thank goodness you saw me. I was afraid I was going to be trapped out here, well, forever."
Junior, ask her what ails her. I'm gonna say in a softer tone.
Why do I have to ask?
Because you've got the stronger, more intimidating voice. I'm sorry. I guess I could ask Hippolytus if you don't feel up to the task.
Wayne.
I
What
see
did
how
you
it
ask?
is.
Well, ask them what ails them.
Oi, what ails you? Fair maiden?
So she blushes a little bit when you refer to her as fair maiden, but she says, "Well, I'm perfectly healthy, so nothing. I'm trapped on this rock though."
Ask her how she got onto the rock.
How did you happen upon a rock so far out in the ocean?
Well, I really don't know how far out in the ocean this is per se.
Oh my goodness.
Um, but I was trapped here by horrible creatures. They took me away from my family and they brought me all the way out here. I was able to escape from them in the night, but I'm not sure where to go at this point. I don't even know where my family is. Somewhere that way, and she points off to the east, but I don't know where.
Ask her what these creatures look like.
What did these terrible creatures look like?
They were small, about this tall, and she somewhere between 2 and 3 feet. And they wore these strange furry shells as armor on their bodies. They had horrible faces as well.
It's like cocoa biters. Alright, I believe her.
Frickin' cocoa biters, and it's in the right direction. We should help out.
Helmsman, take us in closer. Akalupu, go see if you can scrounge up some sort of clothing for our guests. Find some accommodations.
All right, so you
Aye,
guys.
Captain. I'm gonna do that. Head down there to get her.
Thank you so much. So I assume you move in closer and just hop over, or
So do we have a I assume we have some sort of
lower a rope?
gangplank, right? Do we have a gangplank?
You have a plank that you could use as a gangplank.
Alright, we're gonna get close enough to use our makeshift gangplank and put it, because we're at the same level. We're at 10 feet.
Yeah, I mean you can adjust your height to be wherever you need it to be.
We're gonna temporarily do a makeshift docking.
All right.
Just close enough to get her aboard.
So you guys, run the plank over, and She goes over and kind of like moves a couple of rocks that were behind her and grabs some objects, and then comes across the plank. Yeah, she's not exactly able to hide them. She's just holding them. So yes,
What?
it is fairly easy to see that she has a necklace. One of them seems to be a necklace with a variety of shiny shells and some gems on it. And then the other one is a conch shell, somewhat reminiscent of
Ooh, that's
the
important.
Triton's conch that was passed down by Pipiopi, in visually at least, in that it is also a conch shell.
So I have innate detect magic. Do I detect any magic coming from either?
You do.
Oh, from both of them or just one? Or I can't
You
tell.
can't tell which, but the stuff she is carrying, you are detecting some magic there.
What do you have there?
These are, well, gifts from my father. He
Ooh.
unfortunately is no longer with us.
So you've got a. Why don't you? It seemed that you'd have much less chance of losing such a prized item. I'm gonna gesture towards the necklace if you wore it.
Well, yes, but well, while I was on the island, I had to go swimming sometimes, and I wanted to keep it safe from, birds and things. They do like shiny objects. Isn't it pretty though?
No,
And
they.
she holds the necklace out to show it to you.
Can I reach my hand out? Like I'm gonna reach my hand out, not in like an aggressive manner, but like just kind of to place it under and hold it up a little bit. Like
Yeah.
not like I'm taking this from you, but like a
Okay.
open palm, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, she doesn't seem bothered by that.
I'm gonna do that and lift my hand to touch it, lift it a little higher into the light of the sun.
All right, it glimmers beautifully.
Nothing horrible happens when I do that.
Nope, it feels like whatever thing, whether it was a shell or a gemstone, whatever part of it you touched, it feels like that.
It's very, very pretty. Very pretty.
Thank you.
That conch shell also from your father?
Yes, both of them.
I saw a conch once like that back in my village. Had some peculiar properties to it.
Really? Where is your village?
Oh, out west.
Actually, if you're talking about Outset Isle, it's to the, it's mostly east and a bit north.
Outset I?
Outset Isle, which is where
Oh
you
man.
and the
Yeah.
last generation
Yeah,
left
east
from.
is that way. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. So take that back, reversed it. I said out east. Out
Oh,
east.
you.
What isle are you? What's the name of your island?
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think it.
I'm gonna shepherd her into like a more shaded bit because I imagine being out in the sun probably isn't the most pleasant.
She does look quite sunburnt at this point. It is
Actually,
clear
then
that it is clear that her skin is not used to this much sunlight. Obviously, being stuck on a rock in the middle of the ocean with no shade. So she
well,
is very sunburnt.
yeah. I'm actually gonna say, you know what? I will take you down below. Uh, Mako, why don't you set a course back for the east, and then meet me below decks after you've done that.
I like look at the girl suspiciously and I'm like, all right, Captain.
I'm gonna shepherd the girl down below, and while I do so, I'm gonna say, don't mind me asking, what are you called?
Oh, my name's Dolphine.
Dolphine.
Yes, I'll put that in chat.
Hmm. Well,
As
soon
you're
enough,
going
I'll.
below deck, you meet Akalupu coming back up with a pair of his pants and a rope to use as a belt. Because you told him to get clothing, and he was not going to go through anybody else's clothing. So,
Well, I guess that.
Akalup is like, I
Oh.
only wear pants. This is clothes.
Thank you, Akalupu. That'll do for now. I'm gonna take those pants and the rope. I assume I have some sort of table in my room.
Yeah, you probably have some sort of like a desk in a that comes out of the wall or something.
Yeah. So
Like, by
I'm
which I
gonna
mean
take her in
attached to
there.
the wall. I don't think you're advanced enough that
Yeah.
it's like a folding desk or anything.
it's like a desk equivalent of a Murphy bed. Anywho, I'm gonna take her into there. I'm gonna have her sit down, and while we're is there a way I can try and like trim some of tailor these pants so they're a little bit less like Akalupu sized?
It is possible, yes. Would it be something you could do in a short period of time? Probably not with the material and knowledge that you have.
Hmm.
I mean, Junior said that he got her a rope,
A rope.
belt.
This is true. All right. So I'm gonna give her the pants and the rope and say, here, these might do you a bit better. Might be a bit on the large size, but better than nothing, I suppose. And while she does that, I'm gonna go digging through my stuff to see if I can't find some like extra like cloaks or something. I don't know how much extra clothes I actually have, but you know.
Yeah. All right. So she like you hand it to her. Start looking through your clothes, and you expect by the time you turn around that she'll have put them on, but she's kind of just like holding them, looking confused.
I'm sorry, is there some sort of confusion?
Yes. What am I supposed to do with this?
Oh, they must have not had. So these are what we call trousers. Do we have trousers or do we have like?
I don't even think so. I think technically
Tunic.
y'all are y'all are not dressed that much more than she is. Like Akalupu is probably wearing either a wrap, essentially, like a kilt.
Yeah.
a knotted a skirt, or a loincloth as well. I think you had taken to some of the ponies fashion after visiting Silicon Valley and had started wearing like dresses and stuff. But that's not necessarily common.
I see. All right, so I'm going to I'm going to help her. I'm going to take because I assume then Akalupu probably brought her a long stretch of cloth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know, Akalupu, how do you dress? Do you do like a kilt type of thing? Do you do loincloth? Do you want to have just done trousers? Like, you can have taken after more of the pony fashion as well if you want.
yeah, I think just because, like, since he was raised by Mono Inui.
Okay. Then Akalupu does wear trousers.
Okay. Well, now I'm thinking about it. So do you know like how? Okay, I don't know when you guys were little if you ever made like togas out of towels.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do, except to her. Except a little bit less, ramshackle. I'm gonna use the rope to like tie it together.
All right, so you're able to do that. And she seems like a little bit uncomfortable. She's kind of like squirming, and she's like, "It's a little bit itchy, but I guess if you want me to wear this, I can."
I mean, only what you're comfortable with, but
Right.
it'll
We're just trying to
keep the
help this
sun-
woman.
Yeah.
She's like,
She's like totally judging our style.
yeah.
No, I don't mean to complain. I'm sorry.
No, don't even worry about it. We're just trying to keep the sun off your skin. Some of us here are more fair-skinned than the rest, so understand the plight. Is she fair-skinned? Is she like light-skinned, like pale, like Manwa Nui, or is she like more like the rest?
Hard to tell. What you've seen of her is pretty sunburnt.
Okay. Great.
So
Well,
she's pretty red right now.
Soon enough, one of our
I mean,
crew will
while
be
you're
down.
dressing her, if you want to like move part of her other clothing aside to check, you could.
Well, I assume I will anyway. Like while I'm like wrapping her in a toga.
Okay, then yes. Underneath her, the clothing that she does have, she seems to be pretty fair-skinned.
Mm. She doesn't happen to have like pointed ears, does she?
I guess by now you would have probably had a chance to see. And no, she does not have pointed ears.
Oh, that day, Monterey thought she might have found a kinsman, but alas, Monterey is doomed to be a lone, lonely loner.
Da da da.
Soon our helmsman will be down, and she's quite the talented herbalist, so she might be able to fix up a poultice for your skin. But while we wait for her, why don't you tell me where you're from?
Oh well. I don't think I'm allowed to say much. Really.
Oh well, I just hope that whatever island you're from, and they're not in trouble. Those cocoa buyers can be quite pernicious, especially if you're a place that doesn't have much much practice in dealing with them.
Yes.
Can I like roll a diplomacy roll to see if I'm like low key like psyching her into maybe revealing some information? Would that be a diplomacy roll?
It would be diplomacy to try and get her to reveal some information. If you're just trying to see what her mental state is, that would be perception.
Oh, okay. While I say those things, I'll do a perception check to see how loose her screws are. I got an 18.
How loose her screws are.
Hey man, she's been on a rock for a few days. You never know. Last time we rescued a guy in the ocean. He was trying to summon some sort of eldritch deity to like sink the ship.
Yeah. So you're trying to see whether or not you think she is mentally stable. Is that what you're trying to check?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, she seems to be in full control of her faculties.
Do you have any like sort of interesting emotional reaction?
Counter
to what it might be, like maybe joy. That'd be kind of odd.
She seems that she is a bit uncomfortable, and she did seem to be genuinely disappointed that she couldn't tell you more, or at least she believes she can't or shouldn't tell you more. She seems to be a bit wary of you still. So you can see that her like body language seems to be a bit guarded.
I see. But no matter. Let me make you some. Got this delicious brew that I make. Can I make tea? Is that something that I know how to make? I feel like living up in the Highlands for so long.
I know that Sammy made coffee, like blood eye coffee out of like who knows what. So you are familiar with the idea of hot water and something, to steep in it.
Steep in it.
I don't know. It's not super easy to get hot water unless you have one of your spells that is able to do it. So
I think I'm going to use my could shocking grasp
No.
Boil water.
No.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. I gotta have something.
And keep in mind the dangers of open flames on a boat.
Create water would just be like, would that just be
It would just be water. It would not be any particular
hot
temperature.
water?
It'd be room temperature.
Cube it in, temporary tool. Oh, I have heat metal.
I mean,
Would that work?
if you're looking for tea, the most likely source would be to go to the quartermaster, who is in charge of meals and food, and would actually have the tools for heating water and making stews and that sort of thing, cooking food in
That's good.
general.
That's a good point, but I kind of forgot who the quartermaster was.
That would be
Was
it.
that a boy pep?
Yes.
I'm gonna call off the door for a boy pep. A boy pep.
Hello, who is
A
it?
little louder. Oh, there we go.
Ipoipip, are you in your horse form or human form at this point?
Human form. Gotta
Alright.
take up less room on the boat.
Very true. Yeah, the boat is pretty awkward to navigate in horse form.
You've been in your horse form this whole time? That is not what I was picturing.
Human form, I said.
Right. Human form now on the boat, but I mean, before we were on the boat, you were a horse?
Yeah, I'm a unicorn. That's
Okay,
that's the
duly
form
noted.
I'm most
Yeah.
comfortable in.
Yeah, Burn Bright and Ip are 3/4 unicorn, so they are more unicorn than they are human.
Right. Okay. Carry on. Sorry.
Could you happen to have? Could you make some tea for our guest?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know if you've ever had something like tea before, but great for the nerves.
Oh. No, I've never heard of tea before. What is it?
Leaf
It's,
juice.
Leaf juice?
Well, not
That
quite.
like
It's
kelp juice? Do you squeeze the leaves?
more like you find some herbs and you boil them in the water, in some water, and
I guess it's more like leaf soup.
yeah, more like leaf stew.
Soup? I don't know what
But-
soup is either.
Oh,
It's really
well,
hot
you'll find
water.
out.
Oh,
It-
hot water.
It's good.
And then you
I
put leaves
promise.
in it, and it makes it taste like the leaves.
Like
It's
the good
fascinating.
leaves, good tasting.
It's fascinating. I would love to try this tea.
All right. So you were saying you came from an island? Is that what you were saying?
No?
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have misheard you.
I think you asked what island I came from.
Well, not an island. Where else could you have lived? Not like you can live underwater.
I suppose it's like an island where I lived. And
Well,
I really am sorry. I can't say more. You see, my people are often attacked, and keeping the location of our city secret is important. I
That's
hope you
very
can
understandable.
understand.
very understandable. The ancestors of the island that I'm from did something somewhat similar, except there's more of create a giant monster to keep anything from coming into the island.
We have something similar, really. We have a guardian as well.
Oh, really? Well, if he's anything like the guardian that we had, not would not want to try and sneak past him.
No, unfortunately, while he is very strong, he's not the brightest. Clearly, these cocoa biters, I believe, is what you said you call the creatures.
Oh yes.
Oh well, they made it past and raided our city. I
Oh,
think most of them were killed and defeated, but they took a few of us away. Do hope everyone else was able to escape as well. It's the most
oh
I could
yes.
do to get out myself, though.
Well, I'll make sure whoever's on watch always keeps an eye out for any more of your people. They all look similar to you.
Um, well, not particularly,
Oh,
but I don't think you'll see any of them. We try to stay hidden.
ah. Well, you must have been in some desperate straits to seek our help.
Indeed, I'm afraid the waters around here seemed quite dangerous. I didn't know where else to go. I
Well, I think you made the right choice. I've seen extremely strange things in these waters.
Have you seen the Kraken?
The what?
Giant creature with tentacles like a squid, but massive.
Oh, I don't think we actually have.
Oh, well, count yourself lucky. He could just snatch this ship out of the air and pull it under with a single tentacle easily.
Oh, how lovely. These krakens live near where you're from?
No, thankfully, they don't seem to venture too close to us, and our guardian is capable of defeating a creature like that, but I did see several near here. Or not several. I did see one near here. It was part of the
Well,
reason I was so afraid of the water.
I'll make sure our helmsman knows. How, if you had to gander, how high would you say they can reach out of the water?
Oh, I don't know. Their tentacles are very long. 50 feet? Maybe more?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm afraid our might be a bit high for this ship. As a quick side question, we can't go higher than 50 feet, right?
I mean, you could try, but your energy usage would be insane by the time you got to 50 feet.
Feed Akalupu to the batteries.
Right?
Um,
Akalupu in a hamster wheel.
yes. Talking faster. Um, oh, well, when the helmsman comes down, I'll, uh, I'll, I'll make sure to tell her.
Yes, I don't think we need to be too worried as long as we're not, you know, around in the water. The krakens generally don't attack things like boats and whatnot. They are more interested in, well, larger prey, things that are easy to eat, and they spend most of their time in the deep waters.
Well, that's lucky for us. I'll have to, yeah, keep an eye out. But, well, as long as you're with us, I'm afraid we might not be able to get you back home. But, you'll have a place to stay, food and water.
I really do appreciate you taking me back toward my people. I will try not to be too much of a burden, and if there's anything I can do to help on the ship, please let me know.
Oh, we will. But got a pretty good a pretty good company here.
And I'll make you tea whenever you want.
Yes,
Just appears
did you
in the
just
doorway.
return with tea? Thank you. So I assume you hand her the tea now.
Yes. And then I disappear.
So she sniffs it and seems quite interested and takes a drink. This is good. I don't know, I assume it's like mint tea or something.
Yeah,
Mint, eucalyptus
mint.
tea.
Nice.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Let's see. I think, seeming that he only brought the one. Yeah, some people when you say bring some tea, bring tea for everybody. Like I said, we've got a special crew here. But let's why don't you stay here? I'm gonna go ask the helmsman if they can pop down and see if they can't treat your make some sort of poultice for your burns.
All right. Thank you. So she continues to sip the tea.
Yes. By the way, yeah, my books are not like out in sight. They're like behind the desk. They're not like just like laid on the desk.
Okay.
I'm gonna head up and go to the helmsman. Like, Mako, you think you could go down and I know you're less into like medicinal types of concoctions, but if you knew any sort of herbal pastes or poultices that you could that would help with burned skin.
Yeah, any of your healing potions would also work.
Oh, that as well.
Okay. So I should do that. I should give her a healing potion.
Yeah. Or
Is
if you just
that-
want to roll a is it
Like
medicine?
a medicine check.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Oh, I got a 22.
Nice.
All right, so you are able to whip up some alchemical concoction pretty easily that is able to it's not just like putting aloe on it, it's like magically healing the sunburn. And
there you
what
go.
so you rub that across her skin, and you can see the sunburn disappearing, leaving behind creamy white skin in its place. And she seems very impressed. Oh my, what is this stuff? This is incredible.
It's magic. Don't worry about it.
Yes, that does explain a lot. Well, thank
So
you.
So where are you from anyway?
Well, I hate to give you the same answer as your captain, but I'm afraid I can't really say.
All right, well, you know that we can't get you home if you don't tell us where you're from.
If you just keep going that way, and she again points east, I should be able to get home by myself at a certain point.
Okay, cryptic.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's your choice.
Well,
I don't
be
think
one-
you would want to go there anyway. not the
If
most.
you're one,
It's not the most hospitable for people like you.
wow, casual
People
racism.
like me, I see.
I believe the term you're looking for is "you people."
Yes, that is definitely part of it. We are fairly insular. I was honestly not even sure if I should call out for help, but it seemed like, well, what was my other option? Die on that rock?
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I wasn't sure that we should pick you up. You're right that I don't want to go to where you're from, especially if they're going to be racist to me. But I also don't want you hanging out here for months on end eating our food. So I guess we'll figure it out as we go.
I'll do my best not to be a burden, and if there is anything I can help with, let me know. I am a skilled fisher. I could provide food.
That sounds like a good start. All right. And I feel like I'm done talking to her. I'm grumpy.
Fair enough. All right.
Mono Anu is gonna find the Poipip and say, if you can't find a sleeping quarters for our new friend, and preferably somewhere where this is out of her hearing, but preferably somewhere where you can keep an eye on her, if you know what I mean.
Sure. What is our end game with this? Is like she won't tell us where she's from. I don't understand what the plan is here.
I
Is
don't
she
know. I
is she
assume she's
within hearing, or have you guys like gone off somewhere?
she's not within hearing.
Okay.
We're like on the upper
Yeah,
decks.
she's down below deck with me, getting
Yeah.
salve rubbed into her skin
Getting the-
and
yeah.
verbally abused.
Well, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure. She seems to have this idea that she'll just swim away when she's close enough. I don't know. It's
But
very.
then
it's
wouldn't
very
we be
odd.
able to follow her? Like,
Look,
if she's that
all I'm
concerned
saying-
about leading us to her island, she won't swim to her island from where we are.
there seems to be quite a bit of skullduggery going on. So, like I said, just keep her in a spot where you can keep an eye on her.
Okay, sounds good. We'll make sure that whoever's on lookout knows where she's at.
Yeah. Oh, and she mentioned something about giant squids reaching up like 50 feet out of the water.
Hogwash.
just keep that in the back of your mind.
I don't believe it for a second. I think we
Well-
would have heard something about it in all the myths on our island.
Well, one of the stories you would have heard is how at one point your parents rescued a crazy old man from a similar situation, just like a random rock out in the middle of the ocean, and how he summoned a giant tentacle monster that fits the description pretty closely, that almost
Oh, that's
attacked you guys,
true.
and then you threw the dude overboard, and the monster ate him instead and then left.
That
Might
did
even be
happen.
in the book.
Huh?
It might even be in the picture book.
Oh, it is in the picture. Page.
I haven't made it that far yet.
No
Almost said
spoilers.
page, but it's a scroll.
Yeah, it would be pretty far toward the end because that was shortly before you guys arrived on the dinosaur island.
All right, I make sure that I put Dolphine in a hammock in the very center of the group. No escape.
Da, da, da.
Like DL. DL no escape. Down low. On the down low.
Yeah, she seems very interested in the hammocks. She's just like, so you just hop up here and you what? Stare at the wood above us, or
I mean, how do you sleep?
oh well, just wherever, I guess.
I don't recommend sleeping on the ground on a boat. It gets wet.
So when you mention that, she does actually seem kind of concerned, and she goes, "Oh, I see. It's better not to get wet."
Is this your first time on a boat?
Well, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I've seen boats before, of course, but no, I've never been on one.
Not even when the Cocoa Biters brought you out to that rock?
No, we traveled mostly in the water.
Sounds like a rough trip.
Yes. It was not pleasant, but cocoa biters are, pretty aquatic.
They're buoyant.
That's a thing you would have known from the cocoa biters is like they are like equally happy to be above and below water.
Mm.
Like underneath their coconut shells, they're basically sea urchins, like advanced sea urchins.
Right.
All right. Well, sleep tight. Don't let the cocos bite.
You're funny. All right. So for most of the rest of the day, she goes around the ship. She does do a bit of fishing. She is as skilled as she said. You guys, I don't think do like pull and line fishing, so it's like spear fishing. Of course, I don't know how she would do that from above the water. So scratch that. She's not sure how to fish in the current situation. But she does, explore the ship. She seems very curious about a lot of the things that you have, and asks a lot of questions from everyone on the ship. And she seems to be getting a bit more comfortable around you as time goes on. And then, that night, you all retire to your bunks, and you guys were not traveling at night, correct? You were planning to stay put?
Yeah, at least while the weather is not good.
All right. So I assume then you go ahead and land in the water and, get set for the night. Is that correct?
Yes, that makes sense to me.
All right. I assume you guys set up watches kind of like normal, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be with what Manwanui taking. Oh, did it change since Burn Bright and Ip are kind of a bit more of an extra helping of blessing?
Yep, that's what I was going to ask you guys. You guys, all Ip, Burn Bright, and Manawanui all only need about 4 hours of sleep. So, any of you guys could take a double watch. You only need 4 watches. So you could just do 2 watches if you wanted. Like it could be Ip and Burn Bright if Manawanui wants to finally not be on watch duty.
That actually sounds good to Manwanui, if that's amenable to Burn Bright and Ip.
Burn Bright is willing.
We'll see how it goes for now.
Manwanui can also take a shift if Ip needs to sleep.
Well, that'll give me some more time to read up on that book you gave me, so let's do that for now.
Well, yeah, Manwanui will take a shift.
How about we
So,
trade
if-
off every other night?
That sounds good.
We'll
Well,
do
I'll
a
leave you with
rotation.
I'll leave you with the one tonight. That way, you can get a little extra, and also, you can what's what I'm looking for. You can keep an eye on our guest,
I will stay vigilant.
and Mono and Nui will take the last 2 shifts. After Burn Bright.
Well, you only need, since you can do double shifts, you only need 2 people if you're doing double shifts.
Yeah.
So it could
Yeah,
be just
so,
Ip and Burn Bright, or it could be
well,
Ip and Mono Nui.
It's gonna take some of the. He's gonna switch out every other night, so he can get some reading done.
All right. So who is taking first watch? Or I guess probably first and second watch.
I guess Burn Bright, and I'm gonna read and watch Dolphine
Okay.
covertly.
And then Mono Nui is taking third and fourth watch.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So let's get a perception check from Burnright for the first watch. Let's see, where's his perception? Is +8. Alright, so we got an 18. Everything seems calm on his watch. And then Mono Nui, go ahead and give me a perception check for your watch.
Already. I got a 19, so 29.
All right. You don't see anything on your watch out either. Everything seems to be all calm on the seas.
All quiet on the western front.
All right. So Ip, you are taking watch in the cabin area. How are you reading? What is your light source? Do you have like a spell that you're using?
Yeah, I have a light cantrip.
Okay. It's pretty bright. It's like this basically the amount of light of a torch, but I'm sure you could like find something shaped to make it like pointed so it's not just like
Yeah, I'll put it
blasting
in a
light on
shell or
everyone.
something.
Yeah. All right, so you're able to do that. Basically, make a a fancy magic flashlight that you can actually aim. I think that's fair enough. And you're working on reading. Go ahead and make me an intelligence check. See if you're able to figure anything out. Unless you have a skill that would
16.
be more applicable.
I was looking for one. I think intelligence makes sense.
All right, and you got 16. Is that what you said?
Correct.
All right. So aside from you're looking at the pictures, you're looking at the symbols, you're trying to like piece them together, and you're starting to like find some patterns of like symbols that repeat in groups, and you're starting to kind of piece together that maybe those mean something. But without any help, that is about as far as you're getting so far.
Well, at least I have pretty pictures.
Yeah, the pictures are pretty good. And then you said you were also keeping an eye on Dolphine through the night.
Yes.
All right. Give me a perception check.
20.
All right. So you notice that Dolphine is kind of like fidgeting, and she definitely does not seem to be asleep, probably. She's kind of like fidgeting with either the necklace or like holding the shell or looking around. She seems bored, honestly.
I'm not gonna do anything just yet, but it seems like maybe she's either also an elf or doesn't need to sleep for some reason.
It does seem like that might be the case. I assume you are still planning to get your 4 hours of sleep, or are you planning to stay up all night? It's like, you totally do that. It just means that you're going to be kind of tired the next day, and you won't get to refresh your spells and stuff, which you didn't use any, so it doesn't really matter.
Now, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm gonna stay up as long as I can.
All right. Fairly easy to stay up all night if you really want to. You've been getting your sleep normally, so yeah, this is your first all-nighter deal. And yeah, she does not sleep like the entire night.
Huh.
That sucks.
I was wondering when she didn't know what a hammock was. It's like, that's a pretty basic, like, island bed.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, like the whole night she's like, she doesn't leave the hammock. She's not doing anything. Like, doesn't look like she's scratching eldritch symbols into, the boards by her to summon Cthulhu like the last guy.
Well, that's definitely a step up from our last guest.
Exactly. But yeah, she does not sleep. Like, it's pretty obvious that she is awake the entire night. If she like notices you looking, she'll kind of like stop moving for a bit. But that's about it.
What a weirdo.
Freak.
Yeah, and like I said,
Freak behavior.
she just looks bored.
Interesting.
So is it the morning then? Uneventful night?
Yes, if no one has anything else to do in the night, then it is the next day. So let's go ahead and get rolls for the weather. Yes, weather first. So who wants to roll a 1d100 to see how the weather changes?
I can do it
feel
again.
like-
I'll roll.
Yeah, I feel like I should
Or-
focus on the navigation rolls.
Sounds good. It's just whoever wants to.
I'm doing it.
Do it.
67.
67. Calmer and drier, which in this case would bring you to no wind and calm seas.
That sounds good.
And then for the wind direction, which, I mean, there's no wind, so it doesn't matter until tomorrow when the wind might pick up, but another 1d100 to see how the wind changes.
4.
All right, slightly more favorable. So that is going to bring it from somewhat unfavorable to somewhat favorable. But there's no wind, so doesn't really matter until tomorrow. All right, so the fog has lifted as the morning sun rises and burns it away. Let's get a navigation check. And do you plan to go all night this time? Now that the sun is out and your batteries will stay topped up.
Are you planning to do what?
Are you planning to go both day and night, or just day and then stop at night again?
If
Let's go day and. Well, I'm foregoing day and night, but I'm also open to alternatives.
does that mean that I don't get to sleep though?
No, that means that someone who's taking watch will be navigating at night.
Okay, sounds good. Then I agree that we should go day and night while we're gonna have like the recharge situation on our batteries.
Sweet. All right, so you will be able to move a full square in that case. Go ahead and give me a navigation check. Let's see, or a sailing lore. See how well you navigate.
Brady. If I can get to the right tab. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to use a hero point to re-roll because I got a 14. And like I said, my modifier is 13. So that's so bad.
Oh, actually, I forgot about this because this is actually part of that. I'm supposed to roll your sailing lore because you're not supposed to know how well you rolled, because otherwise you can guess whether or not things have gone well for you.
Oh, okay.
So that's my bad. I totally forgot about that. Let me roll. Let's see, what's the secret roll again? GR, that's it. GR 1d20 plus, what was it, 13? Yeah.
13, yeah.
Oh, that's my bad. I totally forgot that that was a thing. That you're not supposed to know how well your navigation rolls are going, because otherwise, yeah, you can go, oh, I just rolled a 1. That means that I now know that I don't know where I am, which defeats the purpose.
Okay, I see what's going on here. So I'm going to put us where I think we are.
Yeah, so you're planning to continue due east?
Yes.
All right, cool. And yes, as far as you are aware, you are location that you yourself.
Great.
All right. So any activities now? So you guys you set sail. Dolphine is like, as soon as the first person kind of like gets out of bed and she's like, it's daytime, she immediately gets up. Yeah, she looked like she was super bored. Yep, you are, a little bit bleary-eyed, but otherwise you're not too badly off. Skipping one night, isn't the end of the world for someone your age. And yeah, she's where do you go, Ip? You're usually the first one up anyway, so you're probably the one who kind of like starts going to, I don't know, are you gonna prepare breakfast or what are your plans?
I want to go ask our guests how she slept.
Right,
Hey,
so
Dolphine. Long night, right? How'd you sleep?
Fine, I guess. Was a long night though. I noticed you were over there in the corner with a light. What were you doing?
I'm reading this book. It's super interesting. I can't put it down.
What is reading?
It's when you have symbols that have meaning and they're on the parchment, and then you can tell what the parchment is trying to convey in terms of meaning.
So like a tapestry or a carving that tells a story?
Basically, but it uses symbols instead of pictures.
Interesting. You'll have to show me. I never heard of something like that.
Well, I have it right here if you want to take a look.
She's definitely interested in. Yeah, show me.
I flipped to the page I was at in the book.
You scroll. You open the scroll. Keep in mind, this is not a book. This is a scroll. I assume one of a set of scrolls, if it's got, that much in it. Otherwise, it would be one hefty scroll. Yeah.
So you can see these symbols are telling the story about what's happening in these pictures.
Huh. I don't understand.
Me either.
Well, maybe we could figure it out together.
That'd be nice.
Trying to seduce you, Jason. Don't trust her.
Maybe tomorrow night we could spend some time on it. Or tonight, I should say. Maybe tonight we can spend some time looking at it. I assume we
sounds great.
have work to do on the ship during the daytime, though.
Oh yeah.
Phone had died.
Can I help you? You could show me how to do some things. I was really curious when you were showing me around the kitchen earlier. This fire that you made to cook food and everything, it's very different from anything I've seen before.
Wait, you've never made a fire? Cook food?
No.
What do you eat?
Food.
Food like what?
Like fish and clams and fruit.
You
eat
just
them.
eat the fish?
Yeah?
You don't put it on the fire?
Oh, I still don't even understand how you make the fire.
That's literally wild.
Yeah, now I don't know, like you would have heard stories of like your parents also did not know about fire. So your life experience, yes, but like you would understand to some extent that there are people like this.
Well, boy, are you missing out.
I know, it smelled amazing in there.
Yeah, so let's learn how to make a fire and cook some breakfasts.
All right. So yeah, she definitely she does not know what she's doing, but she seems to be a pretty quick learner. So things that you explain, she picks up on fairly quickly, and she's doing her best to be helpful in the kitchen. And that kind of continues, throughout the day. She spends time with more or less anyone who doesn't push her away. So definitely not Mako.
Yeah.
And just seems very interested in learning more and being helpful. Does anyone else have anything in particular they want to do throughout the day?
Well, at some point, Manawa Nui wants to ask Epoipip about his observations during the night.
Okay.
But presumably when Epoipip's not,
Probably
making breakfast.
after we're done eating.
Probably.
Yeah, let's go
After-
below deck.
Yeah, and one thing, I don't know what you make for breakfast. I'm gonna just say it has some sort of fish in it, and you definitely noticed Dolphine, like, while there were a lot of things she didn't know how to do, when it came to like cleaning and gutting a fish, she was a pro at that.
Interesting.
That makes
I'm
sense.
gonna take Epoipip into my cabin. Like, so, what'd you see last night?
Well, nothing too interesting except I don't think she slept a wink.
You don't think she slept?
Yeah, I doubt that she's human. Because she seems to be operating at full capacity today. Very eager and not tired at all. And yeah, she was not sleeping.
Huh.
And
Wow.
from what I can tell, her tribe or wherever she comes from doesn't know about fire or how to make fire. So they must be fairly primitive.
Very interesting. Well, I think what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you and Burn Bright switch out watching her during the night. That way you both can get some sleep.
I appreciate it. Feeling tired today.
Understandable.
But I don't
Right.
think she's dangerous. Something is definitely up, though.
Yeah, sleep is kind of one of those. There are very few things that I know of that don't require sleep, and none of them am I too eager to have aboard our ship. Let's just say that. But don't worry about it. I'll just keep your eyes out.
Sure thing, Captain.
Right. Then when you get up there, could you send your brother down? I want to fill him in so he knows that he's going to be splitting night watches with you on his off nights to watch Delphine. Delphine, that's her name. Of course, I would forget such a thing.
All right, I'll send him right down. And I head out.
All right. Do you want to go through that conversation, or just assume that you catch him up on it?
Just assume that we tell him it all the
Sweet.
stuff.
All right. Anything else people want to make sure they get done today? Alrighty.
I want to talk to Mako about how she feels about our new guest.
Okay.
I'm gonna, after I find Burn Bright and send him down, I'm gonna go see what Mako's up to and casually bring up Dolphine.
I'm at the helm, driving the boat.
Just
Seems lonely
sighing
up here.
because you're the only person who's taking their job seriously.
Just like usual.
It's a lonely job steering the boat. Thought I'd come pay you a visit.
I don't mind the solitude, but I don't mind the company either.
So, what do you think about our new guest?
It's suspicious. What kind of a person is stranded and wants to get home, but won't tell her rescuers how to get home? Is that not rubbing anyone else super the wrong way?
Oh yeah, I don't understand what the plan is going to be if she doesn't want to lead us home, but all I can assume is that she's just trying to escape and wants to stay with us forever.
Right, and that's not a plan that I'm necessarily on board with, especially if she's lying about it.
Well, and you want to know another weird thing?
What's up?
I stayed up last night reading. I don't think she slept at all. I think she was up the whole night.
What a creep.
I mean, I guess it's possible she was just scared and nervous, but she doesn't seem tired at all today.
And didn't you say that when she saw the sleeping quarters, she didn't know what a hammock was? What kind of an island person doesn't know what a hammock is?
Yeah, something's going on here. We need to be careful.
I think that we have to be careful because she's not giving us any information.
Well, I kind of like her, so I'm going to keep being nice, but maybe we can good cop, bad cop her.
Yeah, I'm always bad cop, but I don't mind. Somebody's got to be serious about, like, traveling on the high seas, picking up mysterious castaways.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, just throw her overboard.
I wasn't expecting that reaction from a priest.
Well, you know, the good of many outweighs the needs of the few.
Or the one.
Or the one.
Silently in my mind, I'm like, newfound respect. Like, we just got, like, in The Sims when you have, like, two people and the little plus sign. It just happened.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. We ready for the random event roll?
Yes.
definitely.
Someone
Let's get
roll me a
Lulso
1d100. Let's see what we get.
All right, I got it. I got you.
Oh wait, have you already rolled?
Um.
Well,
Well,
if you
yeah,
already
but if
rolled,
you,
that's okay.
I
It's just-
mean,
It's just that I
doesn't
have
have-
2 hero points, and I thought that I was going to be rolling and like able to hero point my navigation, but I am not.
But it's just a
oh,
random 100. You don't need a higher or lower.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you get
Oh,
high or
right.
low. It's just a table of random things.
Okay, never mind. Then let's use your roll if you got one, Abe.
I got 55.
All right, cool. And I'll let you keep the 2 hero points until you actually use one. That seems fair. What was it? 55?
Yes, that's what he said.
55.
All right, let's see. Okay, who is closest to like the entrance to below deck right now?
Probably Mono and Nui.
All right, Mawanui, give me a perception check.
That's not. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's see. All right, plus 10 is 19.
All right. You hear the sounds of some sort of a scuffle going on below deck.
I am going to go below deck post haste.
All right. So you go below deck, and it sounds like it's coming from the storage area.
I'm gonna cautiously approach the storage door.
All right. So as you are approaching the storage door, the scuffle starts to die down, and by the time you've reached it, it's silent once again.
All right. I'm low key. Getting out I'm getting out my eldritch mails.
All right. So you peer in.
And I'm opening the door. Yeah, we're peering in.
Yeah, because it's not like a door per se. It's like a it's
entryway.
vaguely partitioned. But yeah, so you you peer in, and you see a bit of movement in the corner. Some sort of a dark, shadowed creature. Maybe a like a half a foot to maybe a foot tall. Kind of like just the tail end of it you see disappear behind a container of the large sealed pots that you use for storage.
That's lovely. I
And
am going.
looking kind of like on the floor a little bit away from where it disappeared, you see some kind of like loose tufts of hair.
I'm going to use message to tell Akalupu to get his butt down to the lower deck, to like where I'm at, to the storage place.
Akalupu does that.
All right, I'm gonna. I saw something go behind those barrels. I'm gonna cast light. You're gonna go flush it out. If it comes this way, I'll kill it. But I'd like to capture it if possible.
All right, so you cast light. It is now bright, and you can see easily throughout the storage area. Akalupu, are you just gonna scooch the container aside where Manawanui is showing you? What is your plan?
Yeah, and Akalupu has grabbed like a one of the fishing nets
All right.
and has that.
All right, so you scooch the barrel aside, and you see, slightly startled, but not like running or anything. It just kind of like looks up at you. Is a black cat with a little notch out of one of its ears, and it seems to have caught a rat.
What
And
a
it kind of
good
just
boy.
stares at you. And then
So
if you don't do anything, it just goes back to eating the rat.
Manawa Nui is gonna walk up and give it some food, some fish. It's gonna take some fish from some dried fish and give it to the rat.
To the rat?
I'm sorry.
You're feeding the rat? The rat's dead.
Here you go, buddy. Here you go.
All right.
No, he's just stunned. No, I'm gonna feed it to the cat. And you know what? I'm actually gonna try and train this animal because I've had this feat for a long time, and I have trained exactly 0 animals.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Used to be animal handling. I think it's nature now.
Nature.
Yeah, I think so.
Nature. There we go. Plus 10. So that would be 27.
All right. So yeah, the cat seems to more or less immediately take a liking to you. Oh yeah, you know, suspiciously looks exactly like the cat that Molly just posted a couple pictures of. And yeah, the cat immediately takes a liking to you. It kind of like sniffs your hand a little bit warily, and then when it becomes clear that you seem to be friendly, it does the thing where it brushes its body up along you, kind of sinuously.
Nice. We are going to name him. Oh, I don't know. Chip might be a bit too on the nose.
I think Ip or Mako should be the ones to name him.
Yeah, it looks just like our cat Midnight.
I'm gonna carry him up deck and show the crew. Look what I found. Taking care of a little rat problem that we had.
Oh, what a little boy.
All right.
Black like night for my soul.
Exactly. Yeah, so we've been going a little over 2 hours. Imagine people are ready to wrap up.
This seems like a good place to stop for me.
Sweet. All right. With your brand new, 2 brand new companions on your boat, one of which seems a little bit less mysterious than the other, but time will tell.
Who knows?
Maybe this cat is hiding some dark secrets as well. You'll have to.
Maybe they're in league.
They might be. I mean, how else do you think this cat got on your boat?
I mean, I was questioning it.
Yeah, what do you think was hiding in that conch shell, after all? Alrighty, well, we're going to go and wrap up now. So let's wrap up as we always do, and start with Ip. What has Ip learned?
Ip learned that some people don't sleep. Maybe not people.
I was gonna say, is people in quotes there?
Yeah, gotta keep your head on a swivel when you're around quote people that don't sleep.
Yep. Alrighty, and what about Mako? What has she learned?
She learned that Ip might not be a total idiot, which is like highest compliment she gives people in her mind. He's
Fair.
all right.
Burn Bright, on the other hand,
pretty much a total idiot.
All right, and what about Mono Inui? What has she learned?
Mono Inui has learned Well, let me think. Mono Anui has learned that not everybody scorns her more intellectual pursuits.
It's true. You're too used to Junior. He's just like, whatever.
Not me.
That's right. If I can't eat it, what's the point? Of course, Junior's a bit less of that than Akalupu was, the senior Akalupu. And speaking of Akalupu, what has Junior learned?
Junior learned that he needs to learn how to flirt. Because he may have a secret superpower.
That's true, just a little bit of, putting yourself out there and have some real success with the ladies, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you all had a great session, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!